This is a story about the hunting adventure for the 2011 deer season, filmed for Outdoor Insights Television. Jeremy Kelch was the hunter, and the deer, Limelight and the Big 8, are the ones presented in this presentation. The story of Limelight started back in the winter of 2010. We had gun hunted an area at my uncle's farm in Moundsville and hadn't seen any deer, but knew they were up there because we'd seen their tracks, and we began putting cameras out, and this was one of the very first pictures we got of Limelight. The following summer, we started putting cameras out and minerals to see if we could gain pictures of Limelight, and lo and behold, Limelight blew up into a monster, 140-inch 9-point. A few days before the West Virginia opener of bow season came in, I got this wonderful picture of Limelight. He looked bigger than ever, and it was the first picture we got of him out of velvet. Expectations were very high to get in there and hunt this deer, since we were getting daylight pictures of him, which normally doesn't happen on big mature deer. Well, the first night we went out and hunted Limelight, it was a bust. It was rainy. There was very little movement. We only seen one deer. Didn't work out. But I got my dad to film me a couple days later, and that's where the story gets really good. On the first Wednesday of opening week of bow season in September in West Virginia, Limelight and his friend, the Split G3 buck, showed up. He walked into 10 yards. I let the arrow fly while my dad was filming, smoked him, and the picture can show you how big he was. It was my best West Virginia deer ever, and biggest buck to date anywhere in the state, or in the country for that matter. Well, after killing Limelight, I was on cloud 9. I'd been in Ohio filming my mother quite a few days and seen some really nice deer. I decided to go to a different farm in Ohio and put some cameras out in this hayfield. First picture we got was a picture of this monster 8-point that we nicknamed the Big 8. A few days later, we drove to Ohio. My mother was supposed to be hunting. She decided she wanted to go up there and see if we couldn't get a shot at the Big 8. Expectations were very high, but the night before got really windy and ended up destroying the blind. So when we got up on top of the hill, we had to make some adjustments. We ended up having to tie the blind back together in many pieces because it had blown apart. It wasn't very long while sitting in the blind, the Big 8 and a smaller 8-point popped out in the corner. They began working their way to us. Mom was getting ready for the shot, and I was sitting behind the camera recording. But then something happened. The deer stopped about 40 yards. Mom didn't have a shot. I looked at her and said, "I can take him." So she handed me the crossbow. I let the bolt fly, and I hit the deer. We tracked him, and one of the biggest deer I've ever shot in my life, with my mom in the blind, had happened. To say the least, the 2011 deer season went great. I killed my 2 biggest bucks to date, one with my father in the tree stand with me, and one with my mother in the blind with me. I look to even have a better 2012 deer season while I'm already tracking big bucks, and it's game on.